Hi, so I literally just saw The Marvels, and yeah, so I don't know what the plot is still, so we're gonna figure it out together. Carol Danvers gets her powers entangled with those of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, forcing them to work together to save the universe. Hi. How you doing? It's been a while. It's been like a week, right? Maybe? I don't know. Time time's an illusion, baby. You know? It's just a concept. Now just, think about that for a little bit. I'm sure you already have, but time doesn't exist. And we're here and we're starting the video. So I just saw The Marvels. And so, okay, let's start the review. So, I just saw The Marvels, and, boy, let me tell you, it's a movie.
My favorite thing about the movie is, it feels like a movie.
It sure is one of them motion pictures. You know those pictures that move? Yeah, The Marvels, it's one of those. Man, I didn't really like it that much. So let's get into it. Let's figure this out together. Let's figure out what happened here. Let's put on our detective caps. Let's light our little Sherlock Holmes pipes. Don't smoke; it will kill you. But just for a little bubble pipe like in SpongeBob or something. And let's figure this out because I really feel like this movie in particular is kind of a breaking point for Marvel. And I really think that after Endgame, they're just kind of really trying to rush to get to that Endgame high again. And I just think they're not realizing. I'm sure they know, but they also obviously they don't, because here we are. The Endgame was so good. It's literally the culmination of 10 years of build-up. You can't rush to that. That took 10 years to do. A full-ass decade. And here we are at The Marvels, which, I'm going to be honest, I do think a lot of people are being a little too harsh on this movie, and I'll explain why. Now that I've gotten my rambly bits out of the way, let's actually get into the gosh darn tootin' review of The Marvels. Let's start off with the good stuff, because I feel like there is some stuff in this movie that we should talk about. Iman Vellani was fantastic as Miss Marvel, and I think she is the best part of this entire movie, and I think a lot of other people would agree with me on this point. That seems to be the common ground with everybody that watches this movie, is that she is fantastic as Miss Marvel. She has this childlike, naive, personality that's not cringy. Usually characters like that can be kind of cringy, and a little feels like 50-year-olds writing for a child, and it doesn't work. She felt very natural, and her chemistry with everybody in this movie was fantastic. I even think that Brie Larson is better in this movie as well. I actually have kind of grown to like Captain Marvel's character. I thought in her first movie, her acting was a little wooden, although I kind of get it for story purposes and how she was supposed to lock off emotion and stuff, but that's always such a bullshit thing for a movie. You want your characters to show emotion, don't you? Right? I don't know. I don't know. That's just me. Hey, if you don't want your characters to show emotion, go talk to George Lucas. He loves that. Sorry, Star Wars fans. Anyways, you can tell she's really filled in those Captain Marvel boots well, and it's just she knows more what her character should be, and I think she's pretty good in this movie. And Teyonah Parris was fantastic as Monica Rambeau. Right? Monica Rambeau? Yeah, Monica Rambeau. Sorry. See, this is There are so many freaking characters in the MCU right now. It's so hard to keep track of everybody's name. Monica Rambeau doesn't even have a superhero name yet, so I can't just say her superhero's name yet. Yeah, it's weird. I had to say an actual person's name. Like, what? Why? What are we doing here? Excuse me. But they're all really good, and their chemistry together, I thought was great. But Miss Marvel, in particular, best part of the movie for me. Really enjoyed her character. She had the best jokes, and this movie is filled with jokes. 90% of them are bad, but the good ones are usually said by Miss Marvel, and so congrats on that.
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
But all the other jokes were pretty bad. I love the movie Thor Ragnarok, but I really think that the comedic tone of that movie kind of damaged the MCU just a wee bit. I do like that movie a lot, but I think Marvel, Kevin Feige, kind of saw the reaction to that movie and was like, okay, all right. Every movie needs to be a comedy. It needs to be a comedy because that makes money, and we like money over here at Marvel. But Miss Marvel is great. The other thing I really liked, there was a really awesome fight sequence in this movie at the beginning. The big gimmick of this movie is that like they switch places when they use their powers, the three of them. Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau. See, give her a superhero name, all right? Jeez Louise. I know she has one in the comics, but I don't remember it because she's a really deep-cut character, and I don't know. I don't remember her comic book name, and they didn't give it to her in this movie, which I thought was weird. I figured she'd get her name. Anyways, whenever they use their powers at the same time, they switch places. And there was like a cool action sequence when they're figuring that out, and there's like 3 action set pieces going on at the same time because the 3 of them are in 3 different locations, and they're just like switching back and forth and adapting to the new set piece they're on and fighting there, and then they use their powers because they're superheroes, and then they switch places again. And it was shot in a really dynamic way that really followed the action well, and it was really satisfying to watch. And it did have me for a moment like, oh shit, am I gonna like this movie? I didn't think I was gonna like it. The trailers looked like the same Marvel shit that we've been getting, and then the plot kicks in, and by the plot kicks in, they try to have a plot, and there really isn't one. So there is a villain in this movie. Her name is Dartboard. What the fuck? Darbin. Her name is Darbin. And basically, you guys remember Ronan? No, not that Ronan. The guy with the hammer. No, not that guy with the hammer. The blue guy. No, the blue guy. That blue guy. That blue guy with the hammer. That one. Yeah, we remember Ronan. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. And he was also in the first Captain Marvel movie as well. She's basically just a different version of him. The thing is, like, you'd think that Marvel would be like, we're basically recycling a villain that we've done before, because she has the exact same hammer, except it doesn't have an Infinity Stone, but it still has the same powers, which is weird. We're recycling a villain. You'd think Marvel would be like, let's change up their character a bit, let's give them some more depth.
No way. We got you. Not a chance.
Darbin has a motive, in this movie. But like, and I can kind of get behind it, but it's just not, their character isn't fleshed out enough for me to really care about what they're doing. And it's also, it's the type of villain where I'm just like, man, if Captain Marvel could just like punch you in the face, like, it'd be over. Come on, I was never once intimidated by this villain. Nick Fury is there, but he's going on this weird side plot that like randomly came into the movie about eggs, and it's like totally out of place. And it's just like the only thing that I think of as a plot point in this movie is like them getting entangled with each other because cosmic dust or whatever the fuck, and then like switching places and how that's, when they use powers. But that's not a plot, that's a gimmick, that's like a thing, that's just like a thing that happens in the movie. That's not a plot. This movie doesn't have a plot. There's a villain that's trying to do a thing. I don't want to spoil anything, but like it's just like, it's all these things that could be connected, but they aren't. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm just like, this isn't how you tell a story. It's just like, this movie is just a bunch of things on the screen. And it's just like, I guess like you can watch it and you can enjoy the action, but like there's no substance. I know I talked earlier about like how like, oh, every Marvel movie is a comedy now. But like, I'm not saying that like every Marvel movie needs to be like dark and gritty. You know, I just think that there's no room to breathe in these things anymore. You know, this movie's not trying to. This movie, The Marvels, is not trying to say anything. If it just kind of ended, you know, it's just like superheroes doing superhero things, and there's no like message about anything in this movie. And like that's unlike the first Captain Marvel movie. It's not my favorite Marvel movie in the world, but it's significantly better than this one. And like that one was saying something. That movie had something to say, with like Captain Marvel discovering that like she was working for the bad guys the whole time, and that the Skrulls are actually innocent refugees, and like, you know, that was something interesting that the movie was like doing. And this movie is just like, oh, the bad guy is doing bad things and we need to stop them because they're doing bad things and it's bad. And like, yeah, I guess you can have a superhero movie like that, but like, it's just boring. It's just boring, and it's not, there's nothing new here. You know, there's nothing new, and that's the big problem with just Marvel as a whole right now. And like, another big problem is all the Disney Plus shows, and like, yeah, this movie is kind of like one of the ones that does require a bit of homework, you know, going into it. You know, like if you haven't watched WandaVision, you'll be a little confused on Monica Rambeau's character and what she's doing there. And if you didn't watch Miss Marvel's show on Disney Plus, you'll be a little confused with her character, although I didn't watch Miss Marvel. I heard it was pretty good, so I should give it a watch. But I wasn't super confused on Miss Marvel's character in the show. But if you haven't seen WandaVision, you'll be like, what the hell? This person has superpowers now? I don't understand. And that's another big problem with Marvel too. It's just like nobody has the time to watch all this stuff unless you're just gonna make this your whole, unless you're gonna just make Marvel your whole life, I guess. You know, like, I don't know. The Marvels, it's very forgettable. There's nothing new in it. There's some cool stuff. You know, Miss Marvel is awesome, and I really want to see her character in more stuff in the future because I think she's great and she's a lot of fun, and she's really entertaining. There's like one good action sequence in the movie that I actually really enjoyed. But other than that, this movie's extremely forgettable. And I don't really recommend going to see it. You know, I mean, there's nothing huge for the future of the MCU in this movie. You know, it's going to be like, oh, so now you're not really missing out on much. There's a reveal in the post-credits scene, so you can check that out, I guess. But like, it just kind of gets to the same conclusion with all the stuff, you know, that we're talking about in these movies that every other MCU movie gets to. That needle that's pushing this MCU new multiverse saga storyline, this movie does not push it forward at all. It's still right there. It's not moving at all. So yeah, I don't know. Not my favorite movie in the world. Still better than Exorcist Believer. I'll be honest. Exorcist Believer sucked. And this movie is better than that. But that's not saying much. And I didn't really enjoy it. But hey, maybe you will. So I don't know. Up to your discretion. This is just my opinion. You can have your own. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you hit that subscribe button, feel free to hit that bell icon so you can be notified of my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you around.